Hey everyone, Mira Raven here from Repair, Restore, Grow Black Communities. And I am going to be having on Bruce Wesley here pretty soon. I just wanted to say hello to everyone. I know that people are going to be kind of rolling in here. And I just wanted to let you guys know why we're doing this whole thing, why I decided to do this. We have the Black to Business podcast that we started every month. And at our GBC, one of the things that I've been focusing on as a social media director is making sure that we have content that is about empowering our communities, about repairing, restoring, and growing our communities. And my thought and the reason why I decided to create this podcast or this interview show rather was I feel like there were so many amazing Black owned businesses here in Chicago. There are so many remarkable Black owned businesses here in Chicago. And a lot of times when I ask friends of mine, if they know some of these businesses, if they've been to these businesses, um, my friends will be like, wait, what? I've never heard of that business. Or, oh, I've never been there. I've never visited this business. So I really think that it's so, so important that we take the time to seek out new businesses, to look at those businesses, to get to know our businesses in our community and support the businesses in our community. And so one of the things that I wanted to focus on with this show is to focus on local businesses here in Chicago and to really expose these local businesses and get them out there. Because if you think of your regular business, McDonald's or something, right? A big, huge business. We know about McDonald's because there's a McDonald's on every corner. We know about these bigger companies because they have lots of money to spend to have promotion and media out there for them. But these smaller businesses, the local businesses, they don't have those kinds of resources, right? They can't pay for all kinds of promotion and every day or every week. So this is something that I felt like would be a great way to really start to create a community around the Black-owned businesses here in Chicago and to expose those businesses, get them out there, and for people to find a way to learn about new Black-owned businesses that they might have not heard about. Or there's so many businesses that I didn't even know existed that had been around here in Chicago for a while. So that's one of the reasons why I thought that a program like this that would really just kind of go behind the business and really show people a little more information just makes it more interesting. So if you are a business and you're watching this and you have your own business and you would ever like to be a part of this show, you can reach out to me. You can fill out a contact form on our website at www.rrgbc.org and just fill out a contact and just let us know. Or you can email blackbiz.grow@gmail.com and just let us know that, let us know what this is and why you'd like to be on the show. And we're mostly focusing on local businesses. So that's going to be our preference, but I also want to have businesses, in other US, but I want to put as much preference on local businesses as possible. So without further ado, I'm going to just kind of roll along and get started. I'm sure you guys can't wait to hear from our guest, Mr. Bruce Wesley. I'm going to go ahead and roll my intro here, and then we'll get started. We'll bring him on. All right.
We need a genius plan, we need to take a stand, we need to lend a hand, we need to buy more land. We've got mouths to feed, we gotta sow our seed. If we remove the weeds, we'll be a family tree. We're losing the battle by fighting alone. When we stick together, we'll bring it all home. We gotta circulate, we gotta acclimate, aggregate and set the record straight. We're the illustration, we're the celebration, and don't be mistaken, it's our goal we're taking. We did the work, we made the stars, behind our people, we know who we are. behind our wealth. Let's get behind our health. Let's get beyond the self. Let's get out of the well. Let's get behind our town. Let's get behind our bad. Let's get behind our dimes. Let's get behind the rhymes. Let's get behind our minds. Let's get behind the signs. The planets have it lined to give us better times. Behind the business.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome to Behind the Business. I am Mira Raven. And if you're in the room right now, I can't see who is in the room. It just shows me a general number. And something I learned recently when I did this last time with the Black to Business podcast is it told me that like 10 people or something were watching, and there were it reached like 300 people. So when I was in the stream, I thought it was only 10 people, and it was like 300 people that watched it. So please, if you are in the stream right now, if you're watching the stream right now, please, feel free to comment, write something, say hello, say something, because I don't want to just make you a number if you're watching. I want you to be a part of the conversation. And though we will be mostly speaking with Bruce and whatnot, there will be an opportunity if anybody has questions or wants to ask him, questions. There will be a time for that. We'll have a little bit of time for that. So please, if you are in the live stream right now, send a message, say hello. Thanks, Denise. Awesome. Denise, our president, checking in the stream, being the low-key moderator. Okay, cool. So, and let us know too, where you're tuning in from. If you're tuning in from, north side, south side, whatever, just feel free to say something in the chat. All right. So without further ado, I am going to bring on Mr. Bruce Wesley, who is the owner of Wesley Shoes. Bruce Wesley. Hey, Bruce.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Oh, we've got a little bit of a glitch here. We glitched just a little bit here. Uh-oh. Bruce, are you still there? We've got a frozen Bruce. Bear with us, everyone. Let me see if I can get this to change. Okay, Bruce. Oh. Okay, so hold on, guys. We're having a little bit of a thing here. Let's see. Bear with us here. We're just going to try to see if we can get this guy back on here. So this is our very first live stream. So we did tech check this to make sure this wasn't going to happen, but we're having little tech difficulties at the moment. So give us one moment here. Apologize, everybody. But this is technology. Technology is not perfect. It's man-made. And unfortunately, this creates issues sometimes. But we will be getting him back on here. So just stay tuned with us. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit while I wait for him to come back. I am going to, there he is. Okay, perfect. Let's see if we can get him back on here.
Okay.
All right. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. All right. Sorry,
Good.
everyone. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back with Bruce Wesley,
Great.
Wesley Shoe Corral. So, how's your evening going?
Just fantastic for a cold Chicago night. Doing just great.
I know. I know. We're in the thick of winter right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But
Yeah.
I think, I guess Groundhog Day was a couple days ago. And I guess he didn't wait. He saw there's 6 more winter, which means he saw his shadow, right?
I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was like, I had to read it on the news or something. I'm paying that
Yeah.
much attention, but
Hmm.
that sounds about right. 6 months of winter.
Yeah. Well, we're ready. We got plenty of boots for everybody. And
Oh, that's right. Hi, everybody. You guys gotta go. You gotta stop by Wesley. So let's get into that. I have a presentation of some photos. So generous in sending me lots of awesome photos. So I decided to create a slideshow to go along with our talk today and kind of go through some of the stuff. So I'm really looking forward to sharing some of these photos with you guys.
hmm
Um, so I'm gonna pull that right up. But while I'm doing that, um, just for people who are new and oh hey Jonathan, thank you for coming. Hello. Um so for people who have never heard of you guys before, can you kind of just give us your basic sort of what's special about Wesley? What makes you guys so special that sets you apart of, other shoe stores?
Well, we're kind of a throwback to the early days of the fit and sit and fit stores. We pride ourselves on uh, engaging with the customers from the time they come in to the time they leave out. We basically fit and sit. We sit down, we measure their feet, we get a complete diagnosis of what their foot problems might be. We do a lot of comfort type shoes. We fit the entire family. We do men's, women's, and children. We do hard to fit sizes. We work a lot with podiatrists in the area, and we also handle just people who want good quality shoes. And we always say you just can't cheat on your feet. You've got to, spend the money to take care of, of your feet. And we have a lot of brand names and shoes that you don't find on Amazon and places like that. We have unique shoes and quality shoes. So we're engaged with the community.
That's awesome. That's great. And I think that that's something that, when I think of your shoe store, I think of sort of back to what it used to be in terms of we had all of these like way back whenever it was all about specialty, and in Europe they have special stores. It's about tradesmen, craftsmen, and it's about people who are, really focused in, artisans, right? It's almost like your store is like an artisan shoe store. It's not just, like if you just went to the supermarket and got some cheese versus going to a cheese seller, going to the butcher, going to that specialized service. So I feel like that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to share with you guys the slideshow that I created with all of the photos that I was given. Um, oh, and Denise said my daughter had narrow heels and you were always able to fit her. So Denise is a longtime customer of yours.
Oh yeah.
And
hmm Yes,
mhm.
I know her very well. Great customer. Her and her family. Her family. Yes. hmm
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we have this is your 50th year in business.
Yeah. Actually, 2020 was our 50th year in business. With 50.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. hmm
Wow. So I should have put 50. Well, I get
Oh
what you
no,
say.
you did a great job. That's how we have it. You know, I mean, it's fine, perfect. Yeah. So we
But
started off
you're
in
coming on your
1970.
51st.
Yeah, this is on our 51st going on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Cool.
Yeah. So my business was started back in 1970 by my dad, late Reverend Alvin Wesley, and we went on from there to. My dad started the business. He got started because he was always kind of an entrepreneur, and he had found opportunities to just to be in business. He just grabbed them, you know. So he was originally. My dad grew up poor. He was from the South. He was from poor part of Louisiana. What is it called, Donaldsonville and Pinkerville and Plaquemine. And he always used to tell stories. Hey, I grew up and didn't have no shoes, and I used to laugh. You know, come on, really, Dad? You didn't have no shoes for real? But he really did grow up poor, and
Yeah.
he went to the military and came back to Louisiana and decided to migrate to Chicago area, and that's where he met the Jewish brothers, the Divine Brothers, and he worked part time for them, just moonlighting, doing the shoot thing. He was a first sergeant in the army, but he just liked to moonlight and try new things. And he got into the shoe business and really got the feel for it. He liked it, and so in 1970 we took over the store here that you see. It was the it was originally another store owned by someone else. We took over an existing store and we called it Wesley Shoes. We were right across the street from what was known as Gately's People's Store, which back in the days was a thriving area. Lots of stores up and down that street, and it was kind of like this Michigan Avenue of the South. Yeah,
Mm.
so jumping in.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting to kind of look back at these photos and so this area that this photo was taken, what's there now?
Oh, it's gone through a whole cycle like a lot of neighborhoods have, but I mean, it's not even recognizable now. I mean, there's still stores there, but probably you got your liquor stores, you got your church storefronts, and it's a typical strip now. It's not much there anymore. One of the longtime survivors is a lot of people might know the old fashioned donut store down there. That's been a real popular one. It's still been there even longer than us. And
Wow. What store is that? The donut store?
it's called Old Fashioned Donuts. It's down on the 113th, and
Oh.
so they're well known for being out there. But it's really Roseland has changed so much now. It's nowhere near the same that it was when we moved there. There was a J.C. Penney's 2 doors from us. There was a Sears. There was a as I told you, the Gately's People's Store, Kresge's. All these stores were out there, and it was thriving, jumping area. But now it's just totally different. But I think like all areas, it'll rebound and come back. So
Yeah. Oh,
mm,
yeah. Well,
mm,
and what at least from what I've gathered, like at this time, like I guess in the 70s, you
mhm.
know, were there a lot of black owned shoe, not black owned shoe stores, but were there a lot of different black owned businesses at that time? Because I know there was a certain period of time where there were black owned businesses all throughout the South Side. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's for sure. Like throughout the South Side and Roseland, we were one of the few black businesses there. Uh, and my dad, he really created the environment and just set it set the stage for us and set the foundation for us to build on the business. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was a great time. Learned a lot in that period of time, and then we were even back then it was a sit and fit thing, but it was the 70s. We were selling platform shoes to men. It was the 70s. It was long hair. It was bell bottoms, and it was crazy time. Like I said, men were wearing platforms, women were wearing the stacks, and it was kind of a crazy time. But we did our thing. Our store has evolved since then. We don't sell the kind of shoes we sold back then, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a fun time. Learned a lot back then.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, like, would you say the shoes that you were selling, like, what was the main difference between the shoes that you were selling? Was the quality different, or was it the people you were getting
Uh,
them from,
um,
or?
well, yeah, we were doing suppliers. We really had a niche. We were just really doing more fashion then. Back then in those days, we were doing like Buster Brown and for kids, and Stride Ride, and jumping jacks for kids. We were doing Nine West Enzo Angelini, and we were doing more of a fashion thing, and we were more mainstream. And we were one of the first accounts to bring in Nike. Nike in 1970s was a nobody. That was before Jordan. And we were selling them, and we were selling a lot of different brands. We were doing just a lot of Florsheim and Stacy Adams were the big lines for men back then. And I remember when we got our Stacy Adams, we was like, really, it was like a big thing for us to have Stacy Adams. They were real good quality back then, which is a little different from today's Stacy Adams. But you know,
Right.
so we've
Yeah.
been a process, and we've seen them come and go.
Yeah, it seems like in general, that's something I feel like I've noticed about. I love going to thrift stores and getting, vintage clothes and stuff. And one thing I noticed is some of the vintage clothes, they're just like made better in a way, like
Yeah,
a lot
right.
of them. And because they don't, it was more about a little bit more about durability, whereas nowadays they have what they call fast fashion, and
Hmm.
things are made quickly, and made means, and um just it's meant to be worn for like a season or something, and then it's going to
Sure.
break or be lose a button or something after a season. And I think it's the same to be said with shoes. There's a lot of shoes that are very, mass produced at very fast rates.
Hmm.
But I think there's something to be said about, durable, good quality shoes. And
Hmm.
I think it's still something that people really, really appreciate. So
Hmm.
this picture, oh, okay, yep, I see Jumpin' Jacks,
Yeah.
Bristol.
Yeah, the Jumpin' Jacks is known for those old fashioned, back in the days, the baby shoes with the hard soles, and like that. And then they do a whole array of shoes that were designed for children, and Buster Brown back in the days, and Stride Right. Those are good quality shoes. That they have changed since. They're not the same as they were. The names have been bought and sold so many times now, and they're not even a shadow of what they used to be. So, and that's why we've gone on to importing new products that we bring in, new fresh items that are of that quality and that nature now. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah, well, I think that's that's like anything, I'm a musician, and I always feel like all of my favorite artists, they continue to evolve, and I think a business is the same way. A business
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
meant to, kind of have its evolution, and it'll still keep its values as a business, and the integrity, but you can still you can still play around with how you're going to show those values, how those values show up in your business, and how you want to kind of demonstrate that through the products that you bring in, and all of that stuff. So
Sure.
yeah. So this picture's, I'm guessing this is you and your dad. So can you talk a little bit about what made you want to get, because I know I've had family that, have family businesses and stuff, and sometimes you want to be involved and sometimes you don't. So when was the defining moment that you realized, and what was it that made you want to continue to uh to take on the business and continue the legacy that your father had started?
Well, my dad set the like the foundation, and I guess when most kids were watching cartoons on Saturday morning, I was. He was like, "Hey, son, get out the bed. Let's go. Let's go move those shoe boxes around. Let's go do this, do that." So I was working. I got the fever. I liked working for myself. I liked going to the trade shows with my dad. I liked seeing him build the business from beginning, from the scratch to what it is now. And so I was working at 10 years old. I was doing stock work. I was doing, eventually I was doing window trims. I was doing just about everything, and from the ground up, and I just learned the business. So it was fun. And it's been a whole journey, so yeah, I always wanted to do it myself, do it on my own.
Yeah, and I mean, what I see too is I see such a good. I mean, it sounds like from what you're saying, like you had a really cool dad, because it sounds like your dad was like, "Oh, hey, this is the business, son," like, and got you involved in it and gave you opportunities to learn and to grow. And I think that that's something that children always they want to be a part of it. They don't want to be left if your dad had been the kind of dad that was like, never was like, okay, I can't spend time with you. I can't see you. I'm busy. I'm working, and
Mhm.
never brought you into what he was doing. I
Right.
feel like it might have been a different story. You might not have been as interested, but it sounds like he was
Mhm.
really made an effort to show you how passionate he was about the business, which then just became something that you picked up.
Yeah, well, my dad again, he was like I said, he came up poor, and he wanted me to have opportunities that he didn't have. So he always um, gave me stories. My dad, he would drive an army truck when he was young, when he was coming up, because he was still in the service as a military person, but stationed here in Chicago. So, and he would drive this huge army truck, and I got a thrill out of it. But I think my dad was he wasn't I think because he had this army truck, he had a permit to drive crazy and just drive whatever. And it never got stopped ever, if I remember. But he instilled in me a lot of different things. He would also, every morning and every evening when we he would tell me stories. He would engrave in me certain um, things, like he would say, "Hey, even though we made all this money today, hey, it's not really ours. We gotta pay this, we gotta pay that, we gotta pay that, and when it's done, if you have a little left over, and it's great, But he just basically, set the foundation for me and for my brother. My brother got involved too, and we all, benefited from that, from his knowledge. Yep.
Oh, that's great. That's something that's such a great example of, I feel like, what we need to be doing now, with our children is, really kind of having that connection with them, and also, um, getting them excited about creating industry,
Mm,
about creating their own business.
yeah.
Because I think one of the things that's been, that I feel like could happen more in the Black community is that I think sometimes what's been happening lately is it's been okay, not with everybody, because it's not, not everything is generalized, but I think there's been a lot of parents who just focus on getting their children to get a job, as an employee somewhere,
Mm,
and work for somebody, rather than, okay, I'm going to teach you, like what I'm seeing with you and your dad. It's like an apprenticeship, and so we need more of those kinds of relationships,
mm,
both within the community and within families, where you have family businesses.
mm,
And, sometimes you get lucky and the child wants to take on the family business. Sometimes they want to do their own thing. But I think no matter what they want to do, I think able to have, um, being able to sort of create something for themselves, or be a part of something that, maybe the neighbors maybe the neighbor's kid is creating a business, not kid, but maybe the neighbor's son is creating a business or something. And
Hmm.
then that person is part of that business as opposed to just going to work for Kmart or something.
Sure.
And so I feel like I'd be curious to hear what you think about that. But at least for me, I feel like that's something that we haven't been doing as much of in our communities. And I think if we had switched that, then we would have all these different industries sprout up that we could then,
Hmm.
support, our
Well,
communities with.
I'm a firm believer of being a mentor. I like to bring in. I've had lots of over the years. We've had hundreds of kids that have come through Wesley Shoes. They've got their first job here. I've had like customers that I've waited on, and I've called them up and brought their daughters in, even in high school and so forth, and they've been with me, and some are still with me, And we like to mentor, and set the program up, and just so that they fit right in, the right people, and I like bringing them in young because you can kind of, hey, this is the way you do it. This is the only way it's done.
Hmm.
Some of the old heads, they're like, oh no, we need to do it. Yeah.
Right,
I like
right.
to bring them in young and kind of brainwash them, or whatever. I don't want to say brainwash,
Yeah. No, but I
but
know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's
yeah,
not that kind of a brainwashing. There's
yeah,
a certain kind of, cuz
mm,
I always tell people, I think I said this in the Black to Business podcast, you can't escape the brainwashing. You're going to be
mm.
we're all brainwashed in some kind of
Right,
way.
right,
And so you might as well make it the brainwashing you want.
yeah,
And
right.
so if you're in control of the brainwashing and you decide how you want to brainwash yourself,
Hmm.
then it's really not a problem because you're taking control and you're saying, and same thing with your kids. If you're like, okay,
Hmm.
I don't want you to watch all these violent movies because I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on these things. I want you to focus on this kind of life. And when you do that for kids and they don't know what they're missing. They don't know how cool or supposedly cool this video game is or whatever. Because their fun is in, helping out with the business or learning something new or doing, and so we have to create that world for them. So I think I totally agree. I think we need to have kind of our own standard sort of brainwashing for our kids collectively, that we sort of approve as black adults, right, and parents and teachers, and because I'm a teacher, I don't have any kids, but I the kids that I teach, they're like my kids, and I see the opportunities I have with them as mentoring opportunities and
Hmm.
opportunities to influence them, and open their minds or give them different perspectives. So I think that's important.
Hmm.
So let's go to the next one here.
Oh, that's definitely the '80s. That's after we took over the store in Hyde Park. We
Hmm.
bought the store from the Divine Brothers, Harry and Joe. We came from the Rosen store. We still had the Rosen store, and we came to, like, it was 1982, I believe it was. And we were met with a lot of resistance here in Hyde Park. It was Hyde Park Shopping Center. It wasn't owned by the University of Chicago then. It was, I think, Arthur Rubloff or something. But anyway, all the stores that were there at the time, there was quite a few stores. They all held a special meeting to block us from getting the lease when they found out that these black boys from Roseland were coming to to Hyde Park.
Wow.
They tried their best to block us from getting that lease, but Harry and Joe, they stood behind us, and actually, which is not customary, they had to sign a like a co-sign, like like a for a car or something, that we weren't gonna
So
jump.
they
Yeah,
had to co-sign for like
for
this
our for the lease that
for
we had.
them.
Yeah, we're already established people, but
Wow.
anyway, we wound up paying them off in record time, and my dad didn't want to make many changes back then. There was a store that was called The Shoe Corral, and it looked like a corral. It looked like a big barn with Western boots and all kind of shoes, and we had a lot of different brand names, Zodiac, and just lots of brand names that we were carrying, and we were starting to I mean, we basically had to develop our niche. We didn't want to make changes. My dad wanted to keep it the same, the shoe corral. I kind of wanted to bring in the Wesley's part, but he wanted to make very, very few changes. In fact, Harry, the guy in the picture, worked for us for years, and
Which
we
one
kept
is it?
the
This
white guy in the picture, him and
this
his brother.
one? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and
That's his brother?
yeah, he worked for us for years,
Okay.
and we had a good crew. We picked up some people as we went along, but we kept the same core people that were there working for us. So if you were there in the '80s, you didn't know what changed. It didn't seem like a thing. Like we hit the ground running. Nothing changed. It was like it's the shoe corral. Oh, still the shoe corral. So my dad didn't want to have any resistance. So slowly and slowly, I started putting more of our own unique changes, made moderate changes, bringing in better grade shoes, bringing in more comfort shoes, started
Mhm.
importing more shoes from Europe, and started bringing in. It was the first that we brought in kid shoes after Kitty Kicks had left, and we brought in athletic shoes. Back then it was Nike and Adidas, but now we've evolved into an even higher grade of athletic shoes, where we're really hitting more of the athlete now. Where we're not back then it was more. Nike is really more of a fashion line now. It's
Right.
not real athletic shoe. So we
Mhm.
have brands that we carry, and I can show you later if you want. But
Yeah.
well, we carry brands like we import. This is a brand we carry. It's called On Running, and most of your athletes they know this brand because it's designed for as a true athletic shoe, where it's lightweight and it's designed for athletics. So a runner would love these shoes. You get them on their feet, they're comfortable, they're lightweight. They make an outdoor product which is waterproof, and they make a women's product in lots of different colors and everything. But their whole idea on when you get them on your feet, you feel the difference. They're light, they're comfortable, they're designed to be worn. For if you're hitting the gym, if you're on the treadmill or whatever. It's great shoes. And then we carry more of another good athlete shoe is the New Balance brand, which is more common. But what we carry is the widths and the sizes. So we carry a array of their collection, different styles. But what we like about their shoes is they come in widths: D, double E, triple E, 4E, double A, narrow, wide. They go up to size 17. So I mean, we do hard to fit sizes, and people love the shoes. Comfortable.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely something I think that people
Mm-hmm.
need right now is they need comfort. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to go one of the next things I want to go to here is this piece of equipment right here which looks like some kind of honestly it kind of reminds me of a portal or something like you're going to go into like the future
Right. Yeah, it
or
looks like a
something.
time machine or something. But it's a pretty nice. Uh, Back in the days, we used a Brannock device, where it's the little metal thing to measure feet. This is kind of an update to it. It's technically it. We scan your feet, and it shows us your pressure points. It shows us your arch size. It shows us if you're pronating. It shows us if you had a mosquito bite on your foot. It's going to show us that. If yeah,
Wow.
it's a very high tech program that shows us all these. It recommends orthotics for the customers. It also recommends. It tells us your width, if you have a high instep, your arch size. Sometimes one foot's larger than the other, one foot's wider than the other, and so it just gives us a real good impression of what would be best for your feet. And we start there. It's one of the first things, so we know we're getting the right size, we're getting the right type of shoe. We know that if the left foot's bigger, we need to try on the left foot first, or the right foot's wider, or a high instep, or whatever. So it gives us all these a lot of data about your foot.
Wow. So what kind of got you cuz I've never seen like I've been to shoe stores. I mean, I guess I haven't really been to a shoe store in a
Mm.
while. So I don't know if this is like every shoe store has this, but I this is the first time I've personally ever heard of anything like this. And I'm curious, what kind of got you hip to this? Was it something you saw at like a show, a trade show, or
Well,
how did
again, we're
yeah.
we're about comfort and fitting, so we
Mhm.
are a sit and fit store, and this is just the evolution of sit and fit. We still will sit
Oh.
down and we sit down and try to find the right shoe for you, but instead of using the Brannock device, this is just more accurate. It's more detailed, and it really zooms in on what your foot conditions are, and so on and so forth. So, and it helps with a lot of people. So we use it on most of our customers.
Wow, that's so cool. And I bet they really appreciate that too because feet are serious. Like I feel like shoes are one of the things that I just really can't go cheap on shoes. I have to get good quality shoes. And I remember I bought a pair of boots and I splurged on them. I spent like, I don't know, over like almost $300 on them.
Mm. Sure.
And normally, maybe I've bought boots before and I get like $40 boots or $50 boots or something like that. And I got some nice leather boots
Mm-hmm.
and I still have them. They pretty much look brand new. I've had them, I'm in my second season of having them. Whereas if I had gotten some really cheap shoes,
Mm-hmm.
they would already be probably worn through by now, just through one season. Not only that, it just the feel of the shoes themselves. I love them. They're like my
Mm-hmm.
favorite boots. I wear them
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And so I feel like having it made me realize how important it is to have good quality shoes and what a difference it makes when
Mm-hmm.
you have quality shoes,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're on your feet all day,
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this
Mm-hmm.
is really this tool is revolutionary and amazing. It's so cool that you guys have that technology.
Uh-huh.
Let's go to the next one here.
That's just us attending trade shows. We have expanded into outerwear and women's apparel, and we found that Hyde Park is like you talk about food deserts. Well, Hyde Park is a clothing desert. There's really no really good women's clothing stores. I mean, women's, not teeny bop or teenagers, but women's clothing stores in the area. So we decided to really start carrying little pieces like outerwear and tops and pants and different things. And we've got a dressing room now, and so it's our women's clothing business has been pretty good. We've been doing really well with them. We just like the shoes, we do it better quality. This particular line you're looking at is from Canada, and so we did
Oh,
so. Mhm.
nice. And who is this?
This is one of my senior Anne. A lot of people know Anne. She's a pro at the business. She's been in the shoe business probably over 25 years.
Wow.
Worked with me for at least 15 years, and she's a pro at what she does. And she is actually one of the main buyers in the women's apparel because I don't know women's apparel. She knows it really well. So when we go to the trade shows, she goes with me, and we have a budget and we buy. Hmm.
Oh, cool.
That's me attending a trade show in Europe. I was chosen as one of 8 retailers across the country for the U.S. delegation to represent the USA and go to Milan, Italy for this big trade show that they had. It was called the MICAM, IMMICA from Milan. And it was a great show. And I've been there. I've been chosen about 5 or 6 times now.
Wow,
That's
that's so cool. How do you even get chosen for that? Like, do you have to know the right people kind of thing, or
Well,
is
we
it more
carry a
like,
lot of Italian shoes, so of course the Italians want us to be there. They want their
oh,
whole idea is to export more shoes. So
right.
they sent us. I literally paid for all expenses paid. They sent us in the finest hotels, sent 3 meals a day, and it was a great experience. Great experience. No,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the So, okay, what's this one here?
Well,
This
this
is
is
also at a trade show?
yeah, that's a trade show. That's a local trade show here, and probably in Vegas or something. One of the brands that we carry. That's a European brand, ARA, which is they're known for the Gore-Tex boots and shoes. Yeah, yeah. Those are pictures in our store. We carry Birkenstock. We carry a great collection of Birkenstock. We're one of their top suppliers in the Chicago. We carry the brand there in the middle. It's called Samuel Hubbard for men. They make great comfort shoes, and then we carry the collection on the left. There's Dansko, which appeals a lot to the people in the medical industry, first responders. They love them. They have slip resistant soles. People who are on their feet all day love Danskos. They have a nice, firm support.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a couple of Danskos
Hmm.
different times. I use those for they're really good for work. They're
Yeah.
very comfortable and they're very fashionable too. Like that's one of the things I really like about um
Yeah.
that brand is that it's very easy to wear.
Dansko has gone into leopard prints now. They have their basic stuff, the patent leathers and things. But Dansko is it's one of our key lines, and we've been carrying them for years. So great brand.
Awesome.
Hmm.
What else do we got? Some more shoes, Merrill.
Merrill, yes, what I call a lifestyle line, which they make more outdoor type shoes, very comfortable, good support. One of the Merrills that we carry now, one of our key Merrills now with the cold weather here in Chicago, is this particular one. It has a feature where you can flip it over. It comes with a little tool, and you can flip it over and has these ice grips on here, so that on a cold day you can flip it back and you can with the grip or without the grip. So these are 100% waterproof. Nothing fancy. It won't win a beauty contest, but your feet are going to be dry and warm. You know, and we carry them for
Wow.
men and women.
Wow. So Denise Hetherington was just saying there
Mm.
are 18 black owned brands of shoes.
Mm.
So is that something so in terms of your brands, are any of your brands in your store black owned brands? And how do
Mm.
you feel about having black owned brands in your store?
We did have one black owned brand for a short while. It's really hard to find. And those 18, I would like to see the list on that because there's very few that I know of. But we carry a lot of brands from all over. We represent every country in the world. We have shoes that come from New Zealand, from Australia, from the UK, from South America, and even from the United States, believe it or not. So, but we carry lots of different brands. But
Mhm.
truly black owned, I don't know of very many. Like I said, we used to carry one. There was a brother and sister team that when we were doing some fashion shoes, we had some of their sneakers and stuff. But we don't really carry any. Unfortunately, don't have that many choices. And when it gets to the trade shows, I very rarely have seen any. So
Yeah. So I wonder, makes me wonder if it's because there aren't any or it's one of those things where probably some of those brands, especially if it's like an Italian trade show, is there going to be black
yeah,
owned brands there? No. So I think it's one of those things where there's probably not like Denise was saying, if there's 18, I don't know if that's 18 in Chicago or probably 18 in the
it,
US, maybe I'm guessing.
probably in the world or in the
In the
U.S.
US?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I would say probably some of them are new, and this is the
yeah,
thing that I noticed with
mhm.
black-owned businesses in general is that there's all these black-owned businesses, but the black-owned businesses and black people themselves don't know about these things. So there's all these different businesses that I've found that like, for instance, I've just looked up I was looking up I was wanted to get some lotion and I found a business here in Chicago that was crafted here in Chicago. And even though I thought I knew about all of the businesses that would have that, I actually ended up finding one through doing a little bit of research online. And
Hmm.
so it's one of those things where sometimes it takes the right kind of combination of words or whatever, or you're looking in the right place to find some of these black owned businesses. But I think it would be so cool. I'm really all about, like I said, I've been trying to really advocate for more people manufacturing their product and getting, I know that it's a whole process, right? And it's a whole industry that needs to be created, but I think it's worth creating. I think it could create a lot of jobs in our communities if we had, you know, black owned brands. And
Hmm.
again, it's not to say that I'm saying you should never carry other brands or anything like that, but I think it would be really cool to partner with more black owned brands. And even, I don't know if you've heard of trying to remember the name of the denim company that was in Chicago. It was started in Chicago. I can't remember the name right now, but it's a recent company that was created,
Hmm.
and it's in Chicago. Um and it's made their factory is in Chicago, I believe, too. They manufacture
Oh,
here.
yeah. I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, yeah.
So I
Uh,
feel like something like that.
hmm. Hmm.
Dearborn Denim. That's
Yeah,
the
exactly. Right. They had a little store on 53rd Street. I think they're no longer there, but they still have their business. I even bought some jeans there once. Yeah, nice store. Great store.
Yeah, so I think something like that would be super cool in the future. I mean, again, it's something where you got to get people together. People got to get together that are, these brands that are making them have to be connected with you. But I'll definitely make sure after we get off of this, I'll talk to Denise and see if she can send you that information. And
Sure.
then you can reach out to them and,
Yeah.
that'd be
Well,
super
as long
cool.
as they have product that fits their niche. I just don't. I wouldn't buy a black owned just because they're black. They have to fall into
Right.
the standards that we have and comfort.
Sure.
We all our shoes. One thing is about them is they're all comfortable, and that's number one. I don't just try to do fashion, and I mean they can get those shoes anywhere. So we have to have unique items, and that's why we wind up. We just go with what's best for our consumer. You
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and I think that that's the thing.
know. Hmm.
That's kind of what I feel like, just like anything else, like that's how we know we're making progress when we have
Sure.
different types of
Right.
products.
Right.
Like if there's always going to be different levels of products. There's going to be people that want to make you
Hmm.
know, products that maybe have cheaper ingredients because they want to sell to people that have can afford so much or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be, but you know what I've noticed actually when I've been buying black owned products, every black owned product that I've bought so far has been like twice as good as anything I've bought regular. Like with the hair products I've bought, like, and again, there's a lot of like newer stuff. So again, I don't know what it used to be like, but
Hmm.
I'm just saying that a lot of the black owned products and brands that I've bought from have gone like a step above. They've just been
Sure.
like everything I wanted more. And like you guys are an example of that. Like you guys are a black owned brand that you're just extraordinary. The things that you guys have done, the things that the quality of the shoes that you carry, the
Hmm.
business practices, everything. That's one of the reasons why I was so excited to have you guys on here.
Oh, thank you very much.
You know,
I'm honored to be on there and be one of your first people that you've done, and I think you have a great concept here. I like the concept what you're doing. I think it's going to be very good. So.
thanks. Well, we'll go through a couple more here. So these are this is also the
Hmm. That's a shoe, Lee Artiste, that we import. I think those are from Portugal. Great shoes. They give
wow.
you the fashion look plus comfort, so you get the best of both worlds. Fashion.
That's great. Wow, that's beautiful. That is a beautiful shoe, and
Yeah.
you can just tell that it's made
Hmm.
really well. You can
Yeah.
just
It
see.
comes in an array of colors, but it looks great in black. And then those are some a raincoat line that we're doing. Samuel Dong, I think it's called, and they make beautiful raincoats that go all the way to double X, triple X, and they're just very chic looking. They just have a very feminine look to them. Very, lots of different colors, and they come with the caps and everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow, those are pretty. Very beautiful. And then of course you have a lot of kids, right, that need good shoes and
Mhm.
ballet, you I
Yeah.
also read you have a particular lines that you have in your store for, for dancers and athletes and
Yeah, well, we have a whole dance department, everything from ballet to tap to leotards, tights, the entire collection. For we work a lot with the dance studios to bring them in. Of course, with COVID, it's completely dead now. But when it was jumping, it's jumping. I mean, they send them over for it. We did also a monthly shoe tying class. That's Roger King there conducting. He's the expert at teaching. He can get a kid to tie his shoes in about 4 minutes, and he's really good at it. Makes it fun. So we have a monthly shoe tying class where kids will come in and parents will bring them in. I've had everything from third graders to ninth graders in there that don't know how to tie their shoes. So you yeah, they don't know what shoelaces are, but yeah, there's a little girl there. She got her certificate that she learned how to tie her shoes at Wesley. So
That is so cute. That is awesome. See, the stuff like that, that again, you're
mm,
not going to get that at your DSW. They're not going to have little things like that.
yeah, yeah.
it really makes a community kind
Mm,
of feel.
mm.
Speaking of community, this is one of the events that you guys do outside, back,
Sure.
pre-COVID.
Yeah, 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 exactly. I miss those days. Gosh, we'd have some
Yeah.
art, great artists come through, like Maggie Brown and a few others. Um every starting usually June, July, August, and yeah, June, July, and August, the warm months, which we can kind of depend on some warm weather. They would come out in the courtyard, and it would usually be on like a Friday afternoon from about 12 to 2. We'd have some great artists come out and do jazz, reggae, gospel, all kinds of stuff, and just fun, just relaxing, and it was a great event. A lot of people would show up for that. Of course, for COVID, that's not happening right now, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, and so for you, when COVID happened, did you feel like you guys got hit really hard with everything? It
well,
sounded like you kind of got it definitely affected your sales
yeah,
for
it
sure.
affected because it was this mandatory state shutdown, and we weren't really considered first responders. So, fortunately, we had our website up and running, so we were doing some curbside business, and we were doing some appointment only type thing. But really, we were not supposed to be open at all,
Mm.
and we missed a lot of key seasons. We missed graduation. We missed Easter. We missed Mother's Day. We missed um, recitals, weddings, and that whole business. I mean, it killed a lot of. We missed about 3 good months of business there, and that really put a hurt on us there.
Mm.
Um, like I said, fortunately, we did. We have our website up and running. We were selling shoes to people all over the country. We were really pushing some of our hard to fit, hard to find brands that we carry. That, like I said, you can't Google them and get them on Amazon, and brand names that they've seen in Europe, and they saw, hey, oh, Wesley's has got it. So we discovered a whole new audience with our website.
Yeah, that's the one thing with the website. I think once you get kind of the website game all connected and everything, website can really make a huge difference. And I know for me, most of the black owned brands I've supported, unfortunately, sometimes I don't have time to go all the way out. I live actually in Rogers Park, so I'm on
Mm.
the north side. So sometimes I don't have time. I want to go and like spend an afternoon. I wish I was like one of those, super rich people. Oh yeah, I'll just pop over there for 3 hours and just go shopping.
Right.
But sometimes I don't have time for that. So a lot of times I'll go on the website and I'll just have it ordered, even though I'm in Chicago, I'll just order it
Yeah.
online and have it sent sent here, and it takes like a day, because it's in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's a great way to support your local businesses.
Yeah. Of course.
I wanted to ask you kind of a little bit more about, um, in terms of community. I mean, this is something that's really awesome for creating community. What kind of other things do you guys do? And how do you because one of the things that we are trying to focus on with our business development program is we want to try to get businesses to think about also, obviously being successful for themselves, for their families and everything, but also thinking about giving back to the community, and things that they um, being able to support other businesses, working with other businesses. What kind of things do you guys do to sort of give back to the community and help the local Chicago community?
Well, let me first start with I come from a spiritual family. My dad was eventually was a preacher, and he was for 18 years at Herman Baptist Church. And my younger brother is actually a famous minister in the East Coast, Howard John Wesley. If you Googled him, you would see like pages. He has his own YouTube channel and everything. He's got a fantastic following, and he's very dynamic and well spoken throughout the East Coast and throughout the world actually now. And I always tell them that, and in fact, both of my brothers are preachers except for me. So, but I always said I save souls in a different kind of way. If you understand what that means, we have what's called Share Your Souls. Share Your Souls is we network with a company, a nonprofit called Share Your Souls, where people can bring in their old, tired, worn shoes, and they bring them in the store and they put them in the dumpster. And Share Your Souls, they take the shoes, clean them up, and redistribute them all over the country, all over the world, to people in need who need shoes. And we do quite a bit of shoes. So you'll be surprised that people would throw shoes in there that all they didn't fit. They've only worn them once or twice. They didn't like them or whatever. And so it's a great opportunity for people to get some shoes who, didn't have them.
Yeah, and I think this kind of loops into what you mentioned before with your dad saying he didn't have shoes
Yeah,
growing
right,
up,
right.
right? It's almost like you're paying it forward to
Hmm.
the people who don't have shoes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well,
Yep.
I think that's a great endeavor to be involved in, and I think it really helps. I think that people are so they're so quick to just throw things out these days. And I think that a lot of times, I think Patagonia has something where you bring in clothing and they can repair it for you. And
Hmm.
I think that's a great idea. It's very similar to that. It's a great idea, because that way you're not wasting the material, you're not throwing it away, it's not going to a landfill, it's actually going to be reused, which I think is genius. So I think
Oh,
that's a really great.
yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be surprised at some of the shoes people throw away. I mean, they're like hardly ever even worn. They're like brand new. And we've even thrown brand new shoes in there. And, but we just like to, like you said, pass it on to people in need. So that's one of the things we like to do.
Cool.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right. So let's go to this is one of my favorite parts, going through all the fun people that have
Hmm.
graced the aisles of Wesley shoes, including Miss Mrs.
Yeah, she was
Michelle
a
Obama.
customer for many, many years. Her and her family have shopped with us for many years and supported us, and we treated her just like normal people. She was and she was a very good customer. We even one time we had a store up in Lincoln Park we opened, and she followed us there. So she's been a very, her and her family have shopped with us for many years. I think the last time she was in, though, was right before the election, and got a little chaotic because she had the Secret Service came in first, and then
Oh, wow.
came right behind with her and I think one of her daughters, and that was the last time I saw her in Wesley shoes. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that's so cool. It's always cool when people kind of before they're like
yeah,
famous, and then they're
yeah.
famous, and then you're like, "Oh, I knew that person."
Well, her mom still shops with us today. She comes in. I always say she shops under the radar. I always recognize her though, and she
Mhm.
likes to be kind of incognito. So
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a picture of me and probably not well known now, but a lot of people, if they know the history of Chicago, Bill Veeck was the original owner of the White Sox, Chicago White Sox. He
Mhm.
was the first, one of the first owners to bring in a black baseball player. Well, that's his wife, who was still living at the time. I hope she's still living. It's Mrs. Bill Veeck. Used to tell me great stories, and she's just a great customer who has shopped with us for years, and yeah, so.
Oh, cool.
hmm That's Maggie Brown. She a lot of people may know her as a she's a jazz artist and great vocalist and just a great customer too. Likes very kind of eclectic shoes. She likes brands that we carry. Some of our shoes that she likes.
Yeah, I've seen Maggie Brown perform a couple times. I saw her, she did Tuesdays on the Terrace at MCA,
Oh, okay,
a couple summers ago,
okay.
and again, this was pre-COVID, but I saw her and I've seen her, in a couple of other places, and, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love her
Yeah,
outfit in that picture.
actually, that outfit is from us too.
Oh, is it
Yeah, that's
really?
one of the
Wow, there
one.
you go.
So yeah, and see in the middle there's that's Carol Moseley Braun, former senator. She loves Fly London shoes. Been shopping with us for years. She didn't know that we were black owned, and I had introduced myself to her. Great person. On the right side, there's Miss Obama's mom. I think her name is Marion Robinson, and like I said, tries to right under the radar. I caught her that day, and
I know she just looks so normal. Like,
yeah,
she looks
yeah,
so regular, like, you didn't even know. I
right,
didn't know that was her mom because 'cause I've never looked up her mom.
right, right. Yeah, she's great, great person. Yeah.
Aw.
And then left there's one of my um, co-workers, Ivy, with a good customer. I think that's Mrs. Winston is her name. Just we treat everybody like celebrities. She's just a normal customer who's been in many times.
But
hmm
she's a regular celebrity
Oh yeah, regular
customer.
better customers. That's
And yeah, I want to have you say something about, I know you guys
Well, we
were
were
ranked.
recently honored. We were ranked by the industry, by the shoe industry, and they send
Mhm.
out a ranking of all the retailers in the country. And we were ranked number 13th in the country and number one in Illinois as the independent shoe retailer. And this is black, white. We
Wow.
were ranked that high, and we they go on some very tough, stringent, tough, you know, uh,
Tough criteria, huh?
criteria. Yeah, so
Mhm.
we were very proud of that.
That is amazing. That is, I mean, you said number 1 in Illinois.
Yeah, number
I
one
mean,
ranked.
just think of all the other, I mean, that's crazy. Like, cause
Mhm.
number 1 in Illinois, I mean, just think that includes Chicago, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
definitely. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
all of these, just think of, I mean, you guys, just
Yeah.
think of all of the amazing, Chicago. I mean, we're not New York City, but we
Right.
definitely have, designers out here. We have, we have all the big names, out here. We have the Nordstroms, we have the
Mhm.
Neiman Marcuses, we have the little
Mhm.
boutiques and everything.
Sure.
But the fact that you could, stand up against all of these businesses, and not only the fact that you can do that, but the fact that you have been here for, is it 3 generation this is a you're the 3rd generation?
Well, I'm second generation.
2nd generation?
Yeah,
Okay.
we get a lot of second and third generation customers that are coming in now, with their grandkids and the kids, and so we get a lot of that. And yeah, I'm proud of that because we have a great staff, great team of people who really know how to fit and the sit and fit experience is still act alive here in Wesley. So you know, people don't know and have not experienced that, but we're still giving that service.
And I think that service is absolutely needed. I think that people want that, and I think that even especially, with everything with COVID, I think in a sense because we've been so deprived of
hmm
regular simple connections, like sometimes I find, random people talking to me, in small talk, because I think they want to talk, right? They want to, communicate, because we've kind of been all isolating, and staying, inside, and, not
Mhm.
talking to people and not being
Right.
around them. And I think
Sure.
that there's something about that experience that's very kind of intimate, and you feel like you're being taken care of, when you go into the store.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and so let's see. Denise said he is a great and successful Black business owner and has weathered discrimination, COVID, etc. in Chicago. What would you recommend to other Black business owners in terms of? I think what she's saying is, what would you recommend to some of these newer Black businesses, that want to really start to? Because I think a lot of businesses, we should be thinking about, how are we going to create a legacy? Because what I see with your business is, I see it was passed down. You're continuing it. You're continuing to let it grow. And I think we need more of that here in Chicago. So, what kind of advice would you give to younger business owners, or people that are just starting out their business, but maybe they want to go down that route of being able to pass it on to their children?
Well, I would say definitely if you're starting from scratch, don't be afraid to dream. Dream of, to have a vision of what you want, and to the other thing is, don't be afraid to put some skin in the game. And when I say skin in the game, that means that you've got to invest in it yourself. That means you have to put your own time in it. You may have to sacrifice some money, or some real estate or whatever, to get the credit lines that's established, because it's really about credit lines now. I don't care. I've been in business 50 years. If you ain't paying your bills, you ain't getting the shoes. If you're not they're not going to extend you a credit line. But I have credit lines with major companies where I can get as many shoes as I want when I want, because I pay them on time, and I make discounts. So we have to look at that. So establishing the credit, putting some skin in the game, and having vision about what you want to be, where you want to be.
Yeah, and then what about some of the older ones that are trying to stay afloat, especially with all that's happening? Any advice for them? Older business.
Well, I could say one thing, and that's, again, I'm from a spiritual family. Get on your knees and pray. What could I say? I don't know every business. If I did, I wouldn't be sitting here. But I'll tell you, prayer goes a long way, and having the right team of people around you. So,
Yeah, I think that's, because I think if you're doing all the things that you can do, I think
mhm.
that one thing I hear from that, here with that, and I think that that's, thank you for being honest, because, honestly, I can totally see where you're coming from with, how are you going to know what's going to be right for that business? It's almost like a doctor saying, "Oh yeah, you have this problem, just take this pill or something." And for some people it works, and for some people it doesn't. So I think that, I think it's going to be unique for every single business. But I think no matter what business you're in, I think what you said about, about having that connection, I think it's really just about having faith in what you do not control. Well, that's what I recognize in that, is saying, okay, there's only so much I can do. If you do everything that you can do to grow your business, and and you never give up on that,
Mhm.
and that's the most that you can control, right? So once you
Sure.
get to that point, you have to leave the rest up. You have to trust that it's meant to be, and you're making it meant to be by putting in the action and doing it and not giving up. And
Mhm.
then I think what happens is, they always say, let God do the rest, right? Or let the creator do the rest. And you do your part, and the rest of the universe will kind of fall into place, I think. That seems to be what, whenever I hear about people's stories, that seems to be kind of what happens. And then also, I think the other thing you said that is important too is find the right people, find the right team of people, because it sounds like you said you had a good core group of people, and having that good relationships, I think, work, your good business working relationships where there's strong communication, and people are able to work together in a way that is streamlined and efficient and effective, which is what it sounds like you had going on, especially even when you had that transition you talked about in the 80s. You had, that consistency with your staff, which allowed you to sort of seamlessly make that transition without a hitch, it sounds like.
Right, right. Yeah, it was a nice, smooth transition. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well,
yeah.
that is wonderful. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, to give us more information about Wesley's Shoe Corral. I think that a lot of people that were in here learned something new. I hope you guys all learned something new about business. Hopefully, you have a new shoe store that you could visit
Mm,
now and check out. I'm going to put the below here. I'm going to put the website for Wesley's. So go ahead and you guys, please don't just watch this video and go, "Oh, cool, Bruce Wesley, cool shoe." Go to his website,
mm,
okay? wesleyshoes.com. Please go to the website. Check out these shoes. I mean,
mm.
honestly, whether you're we saw a lot of women's shoes and a lot of women, but I'm sure and I know, right? He must have amazing men's shoes. We saw
Oh
some of
yeah,
the
yeah,
running shoes
yeah. I got
too.
some great bench shoes too. Yeah, yeah.
So I would say just check it out because this guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, I think it's been pretty clear from all the things that we've seen here that this guy is gonna get you set up with the best shoes you've ever worn. Period. So definitely check him out. Check out wesleyshoes.com. I'm going to make sure to put the replay for this on our YouTube page. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, or if you want to share it with friends, please do. Actually, please share this with your friends because the more people, specifically, people all around the world, of course, but especially people here in Chicago, please share this with people, or even just share Wesley's shoes, share both, share the website, and also share this live stream so people can also be aware of our GBC and what we're doing. And they can follow this show because every week, and this show is a little different than Black to Business in that Black to Business is a monthly show. This show is a weekly show, you guys. It's a weekly show. I'm going to be on here every single week with a different business, showing you different businesses here in Chicago, mostly in Chicago. Sometimes, we'll have some other businesses from, other places in the United States, but mostly businesses here in Chicago because I want to make you guys so aware and get excited about these local businesses so that we can support these businesses. And the more businesses, Black owned businesses that we support, and the more those Black owned businesses put back into the community, the stronger and better we all become in the long run. We all win when we are supporting each other, when we're working together, and when we're thinking about the future that we want to create. So, if you liked this talk, please like and subscribe it on Facebook. If you liked this talk, if you're in this talk right now and you liked what we just did, please like this. Please share this with your friends. Please follow us on YouTube if you're on YouTube, or you could subscribe to our channel. Facebook, you can like our page. And I'll be actually doing the Black to Business as well next week. So there'll be 2 live streams. The Wednesday will be the Black to Business with Greg Sane, and we're going to be having on a wonderful educator and historian, Kim Delaney. She's awesome. And talking with her on a Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're going to be talking with Sharon from MacArthur's restaurant, another really great restaurant that has stood the test of time here in Chicago. So again, lots of amazing stuff happening on our RRGBC's website. You can visit our website at www.rrgbc.org. Please consider donating. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and our focus is to help circulate the dollars in the Black communities here in Chicago, and really help businesses grow and thrive and work together. So, that being said, again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in, for watching, for sticking with us. Thank you guys so much for supporting this show. And like I said, continue to support these Black-owned businesses. Tune in with us next week for another Black-owned business. And don't forget to check out wesleyshoes.com. I'm going to play my little outro for you guys here. And I apologize that the outro, you're going to see the outro twice because I uploaded the wrong video. But anyway, I thank you guys again, and I will see you next time. Thank you, Bruce, for coming.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time.
We need a genius plan. We need to take a stand. We need to lend a hand. We need to buy more land. We've got mouths to feed. We gotta sow our seed. If we remove the weeds, we'll be a family tree. We're losing the battle by fighting alone. When we stick together, we'll bring it all home. We gotta circulate. We gotta acclimate. Aggregate and set the record straight. We're the illustration, we're the celebration, and don't be mistaken, it's our goal we're taking. We did the work, we made the stars. Behind our people, we know who we are. Behind the business, yeah, yeah. Behind the business, behind the business, behind the business, yeah, yeah. Let's get behind our wealth, let's get behind our health, let's get beyond the self, let's get out of the well, let's get behind our town, let's get behind our bad, let's get behind our dimes, let's get behind the rhymes, let's get behind our minds, let's get behind the signs, the planets have a line to give us better times.